Welcome to PACE Moments. Here, our experts and guests discuss many aspects of corporate finance and analytical models that will help make better, more informed business decisions possible in your organization.
I'm Doug Hicks, one of the directors of PACE. It's been suggested by one of our members that pricing is currently one of the top 10 topics for business. Another member commented that it has been a top 10 topic for decades. In my experience, pricing has always been a top 10 topic for businesses. Pricing is a complex, multi-dimensional process that includes market conditions, costs, investment usage, and many other factors. Unfortunately, many businesses continue to treat it as a simple process based on product or service cost and a targeted markup based on that cost. I'd like to share with you some of my pricing-related observations based on over 5 decades working in the trenches with small and mid-sized organizations. Too many organizations ignore the fact that the market, not cost, determines the price it can receive for its goods and services. When establishing a price, they simply estimate the cost and add a target markup. If they don't think that price will win them the work, they will sharpen their pencils and manipulate their cost estimates, often by violating the laws of physics, so that they can charge a price that makes it appear they will attain their target margin. Instead of understanding that they are selling at a price that doesn't meet their targets, they make themselves believe they will be earning that target and are then surprised when the bottom line doesn't reflect that level of performance. Speaking of costs, most organizations I have encountered haven't a clue as to what their products or services actually cost them. They continue to rely on information from cost accounting systems that are not based on causality and that fail to reflect the fundamental economics that underlie their operations. Even without manipulating their cost, their pricing decisions do not lead to the levels of profitability they anticipated. In several cases, I've seen companies whose inappropriate cost models actually cause them to fail. Several companies I've helped develop causality-based cost models found that the product or contract they thought was the jewel in their crown was actually their biggest loser. Eliminating that product reduced their sales while increasing their profits considerably. I've already mentioned that the market, not cost, determines the price an organization can receive for its goods and services. Although cost has nothing to do with the price, it has a lot to do with the pricing decision. It provides an organization with the information needed to determine if it wants to play the game at the market price. It is not, however, always the fully absorbed product or service cost that is relevant. Although I've seen many companies that hurt themselves by overusing the practice, there are situations where incremental cost is the relevant cost. Special one-time orders are a common example. I've also seen companies use it effectively to create supplemental, non-core business that uses capacity not required by its core business. In cases where incremental costs are relevant, it is important to be able to project those costs accurately. It's a process that's seldom performed accurately by using the traditional fixed versus variable cost formula. Quality incremental cost information is best obtained by using a causality-based predictive cost model that reflects actual cost behavior. Another arena where causality-based predictive cost models are critical is strategic pricing. That's pricing different product or service lines in a way that optimizes the overall profitability of the organization, even if that means some product lines show marginal or even negative profits. Such strategies are designed to make the best use of the organization's fixed resources. The old idea that General Motors would break even on a high volume of Chevys so that it could make a killing on a lower volume of Cadillacs is an example of that strategy. So is the aerospace practice of breaking even on the original contract so it could mop up on the spare parts. Organizations whose products or services are non-inventoriable, like airlines, hotels, and telecoms, also rely on strategic pricing. They use sophisticated pricing models designed to make the most profitable use of their fixed, non-inventoriable investment. Any strategic pricing strategy requires that the organization be able to measure its total costs based on a variety of volume and mix scenario, a process that is made possible by a causality-based predictive cost model. Most organizations use some measure based on percentage of sales to determine the price required to meet its financial performance objectives. Profit as a percent of sales, gross margin percentage, or contribution percentage are the usual measures. Each of these has one fatal flaw. If the organization's objective is to earn the best return on investment possible for its investors, why isn't investment taken into account when measuring the value of each of the components that make up that organization's business? I discussed this topic in detail in an earlier blog on the PACE forum titled "Is Anything as a Percentage of Sales Meaningful?" So I won't go into it deeply here. But some measure that takes investment into account is necessary to measure the true value of a product, service, customer, or any other subset of an organization's business. Incorporating a cost of capital into the cost of a product or service would be ideal. But other simple measures, such as using profit as a percentage of value added or as a percentage of internal activity cost, would come closer to matching the organization's overall financial goals. A corollary to the percentage of sales measurement problem is the use of sales as a basis for commissions. Why would an organization pay commissions on work that could possibly erode company value? I've seen this happen time and again. A stamping company I once visited went out of business after paying an agent $500,000 commission for a contract on which they lost over $3 million. One of our members related a situation where a retiring marketing executive maximized his final bonus by promising customers no future price increases and giving away extras as he went out the door, costing the company over $100,000 in revenue. Some measure based on the value of the business being generated by the sale would be more appropriate. Many printers I've worked with recognize this problem and base their commissions they pay using a percentage of value added, that being determined by subtracting the substrate cost from the sales. Basing commissions on profitability or value added would be a much preferable approach. As I mentioned earlier, pricing is a complex, multi-dimension process that includes market conditions, cost, investment usage, and many other factors. PACE's ebooks on customer profitability provide further details on the subject, as does the SMA, Revenue Management Fundamentals, that PACE developed for the Institute of Management Accountants. That's my point of view. What's yours? Let me know by posting your comments on LinkedIn or in the PACE website's forum. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you for listening to our PACE Moments podcast. To learn more about profitability analytics, check out the PACE website, join one of PACE's interest groups, and follow PACE on LinkedIn and Twitter. Thank you.